Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Wood Lake Nature Center. This is our first installment of our virtual programming here in 2020, and I'm out in the middle of the marsh. I'm actually on a dock that was just put in last year. It gets us out closer into the water, closer to the reason that this is a marsh, those grasses. In this case, the very familiar cattail. And this cattail mat right here is doing something that we often see at Wood Lake, and that is it's kind of floating around, it's moving more than you might expect a big mass of plants to be moving. The water's been so high in the last few years, it's lifted a lot of those mats up, and the roots underneath either broke free on their own or were chewed up by muskrats, one of the more familiar and often seen mammals here at the park. You can start to see some of the green shoots of the new growth. All the brown plants are last year's, and those little tufts at the top look like hot dogs when they first come out in the fall, but by this time it's just a big fluff of seeds, and that's what's going to help promote more of these cattails as we move forward. You may be hearing unkri in the background. Those are the red-winged blackbirds that love cattails. You're starting to see things kind of moving together here. They will show up when the ice is still solid in the lakes and marshes, but the cattails are there, and they're going to sit in different places, and they will use that call to defend a territory, and then they will find mates. Now the males come first. They're the ones that are black with red and yellow on their wings, and the females are brown and tan streakish and quite a bit smaller actually. And they'll nest right in the middle of these cattails, and the babies will be born. They're going to fledge just like regular, well, more familiar yard birds, and then they'll migrate away for in the fall and winter. And then one of the first things next spring will be those red-winged blackbirds again. In the open water, we see all kinds of waterfowl. The year-round residents, the birds that might be nesting here, would be wood ducks, mallards, Canada geese, but there are dozens of other species that will use Wood Lake as a resting spot on their migrations further north and further west. So it's a great spot to be. We hope you all are able to come out and see the Nature Center sometime this spring.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm one of the naturalists at Wood Lake Nature Center, and I'm in the Prairie at Wood Lake today looking for signs of spring. Now you can hear birds calling. I hear birds out in the marsh. There are birds here in the prairie as well. Now, prairie is different. You might have noticed that things look a little different here. It's much drier than the marsh and much brighter than the forest. What do you notice about the leaves of the plants here? Well, we've got our old flower heads. So when you look at a prairie, look for the old flower heads, then look down below for the kinds of plants that made those flowers. These seeds will fall on the ground, and look, here are new baby bergamot, also called monarda, which is a beautiful bee and butterfly flower. It's nice pale purple color in the summertime, but all of these flowers, they'll come out in the summer. So they don't bloom as early as the woodland plants do. What do you notice about the leaves? They're all very narrow. In the forest, Rachel showed you plants with very wide leaves. The leaves don't have to be as wide because it's not shady here. It's very sunny. I even have to wear my hat so I don't get sunburn. So all the plants, the goldenrod, the monarda or bergamot, they all have narrower leaves because there's plenty of sunshine. And of course, lots of grass too. Let's go see if we can find some other things in the prairie. Follow me. This is a beautiful flower called primrose. Notice the seed heads have split open, kind of like a peeled banana. What does that remind you of? I wonder how long it'll be before the seeds start to grow. I see other plants here too. This one is blue giant hyssop. It's very small now because it's early spring. The leaves of this plant actually smell and taste like black licorice. So ants are everywhere. You can't see them because they're very small, but they're eating all the dead plant material and pooping it out as new soil to fertilize all these new plants. If we go this way, we've got real narrow leaves that looks like a grass, but it's not. It's wild prairie onion. The leaves of this plant smell like onion and taste like mild onion. Over here, you can see another poop. Notice the J shape? Reminds me of a J. That's from a wild turkey. The turkey might be around here somewhere. Turkeys love the prairie because of the little plants that are growing and the insects that are here. There are lots and lots of insects, mostly ants right now. The grasshoppers and other insects have not hatched out yet. It's a little too early. But by midsummer, there'll be millions of insects living on these plants and providing food for the wild animals. Now I want to show you something really special. Right up on the red box on the building, you'll see a nest made out of grass and mud. And on top of it is sitting a mother robin. She's keeping some eggs warm right now. A sure sign of spring. Let's see if we can find another robin. Now I'm in the courtyard of Wood Lake, which is inside the center of the building, and I want you to notice what's right up here above the snowshoes. We were storing some snowshoes up here. What do you notice on that snowshoe? It looks like a bunch of grass. It reminds me of a cup. I wonder how long it took the bird to make that. It's a robin nest. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to carefully take it down, and we can look inside, and there's 4 beautiful blue eggs. Can you see that? Oh, the mommy bird has to sit on those eggs and keep them 80 degrees until they hatch in about 2 to 3 weeks. We'll put them right back up there. Now friends, you know that birds don't have a sense of smell. You shouldn't play with eggs or bird nests. They are federally protected. But if you do pick up a baby bird that fell out of its nest and put it back in its nest, it'll help the mom out. Otherwise, you can feed them on the ground. But it's not true that a bird will not take care of its babies if a human picks it up. That was told to kids so that they wouldn't go around picking up babies and eggs a long time ago. But it's not true. You can put them back in their nest and the mother will still take care of it. So another thing, sure sign of spring, my beautiful courtyard garden. This is a bee garden. You can see the violets are blooming just like they were out in the forest. And I've got some other plants that'll bloom later. And then right over here, we have the honeybees. So I'm also the honeybee keeper at Wood Lake. And maybe you can zoom in right here. I have a winter cover on the hive because it's still been kind of chilly out. So the new bees, the little honeybees, are going in and out right down here at the bottom. They're loving all those violets, and maybe you've seen some dandelions in your yard. That's the nectar that they're getting. And they love the pollen from the maple trees. That's good food for them too. So they're flying out gathering nectar to turn into honey and pollen to eat as food. So we'll be seeing more of these bees later in the summer in a creature feature. So those are some of the signs of spring here at Wood Lake that you should come out and check out. Now we're going to go back inside the building for a Signs of Spring puppet show.
Yes, this seems like a good place. Can you feel the love tonight?
Hey, what's all this noise? Hey, Frog! Frog, hey, what are you doing? Stop singing, it's too loud.
Sorry, Squirrel. I'm trying to attract a mate.
But it's so loud. Jeepers.
Oh, yeah. I thought you'll hear me.
Well, I thought Frog said ribbit anyway.
No, we don't say ribbit. We say we trill and we sing and we croak.
What are you singing so loudly for?
Well, I told you I'm trying to find a mate.
Oh,
I'm
well,
trying to attract a woman.
why don't you use see your beautiful tail, like my big fuzzy tail. And so I flick my tail to find a mate.
Whoa. Oh, here, let me try that.
Oh, uh-oh.
Wait, I don't have a tail.
There's no tail
That's not
back
gonna
there.
work.
There's no hair either. You're
No.
just a slimy green skin thing.
Thank you, I grew it myself. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna work for you.
Okay, well,
I'm glad that it works for you.
yeah, I guess so. But I guess you're a frog, so you do things different.
It's true, you're a squirrel, and that's how you do things, and that's fine.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go up into the tree and see
Okay.
if I can find a girlfriend too.
All right, good luck.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. And then I saw the light. Da 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 da.
Did I hear somebody say they're looking for a mate?
Oh, hi, Turtle. Yeah, I'm looking for a mate right now. That's why I'm singing. So
Oh.
beautifully.
I don't sing. I swim around the pond looking for a mate, and then I scratch at her face with my long front claws. And if she's interested, then we mate. Maybe I should try singing.
I think you should try singing because are you very successful with the whole swimming in the pond part?
Well, yeah, sometimes, but let me try.
All right, I'm ready.
How does it love to...
Oh, stop.
I guess I'm not too
I
good.
mean, you have a beautiful voice, but maybe you should stick to, swimming in the pond. That might
Yeah,
be-
all right. Well, I've got to get going, so, because, where do you guys lay your eggs?
I live in eggs in the water. Do you not? Do you not do that?
No, turtles are reptiles. All reptiles, we lay our eggs on land. So after we
On
mate,
land? Are they gonna dry out?
the girls climb up on the shore and they urinate in the sand. They dig a hole with their back feet and then they lay the eggs in there, cover them up, and in 60 days, the babies hatch out.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we don't go through that weird tadpole thing.
What?
The
What are you
babies.
talking about weird tadpole things? I was a beautiful tadpole.
Oh, I bet you were. But baby turtles look just like the adults, only
What?
smaller.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that.
Yeah, well, you learn something every day. So I'm gonna head back to the pond now. I'll just run along. Run.
right.
Good luck finding a mate. Run,
You too, Turtle.
run.
Goodbye. When I am older, absolutely everything makes sense.
Who's making all the noise over there?
Oh, I'm trying to find a mate.
You call that singing?
Yes, I'm singing to find a mate.
I thought Frog said ribbit.
No, we don't say ribbits. We trill and we croak and we sing.
Well, I make calls too.
You do?
Birds call like this one.
I'm ready. Whoa. I mean, what a beautiful voice you have.
Yeah, and not only that, but sometimes I peck on hollow trees really loudly too, like this.
Yeah? Whoa. I mean, I haven't attracted anybody yet. Should I try? You think that'll work for me?
Sure, you can try it.
Okay. Alright. You just go to the tree.
Yep.
Like this.
Yep.
And you pound your beak in.
Right.
Okay. Alright, you wanna cut me down?
Really hard.
Really hard.
Three,
Really
two, one.
Okay, ready?
Go. Ouch. You've got a
Ow.
softer beak than I do.
Wait, what's I don't have a beak. I don't have a mouth. Oh,
And now your
that
lips are all squished in
Oh.
funny.
Hold on. Oh my goodness. That really hurt. I don't think that'll work for me.
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
I'm gonna fly up and check in the hole there to see if there's a good nest site for my girlfriend. Oh. See, I picked a hole in this tree,
Yeah.
and then my girlfriend, she'll come and lay the eggs right in there, and then she'll sit on them and keep them warm, and in a couple weeks they'll hatch out.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
I wish you luck on that. I'm gonna keep singing to see if I can find a mate of my own then.
Well, I'm gonna go see if I can pick more trees, find some bugs, and find my girlfriend too. Bye-bye, good luck.
Bye, woodpecker. Thanks, you too. La 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 la, my oh my, looks like the girl's too shy. You wanna kiss the frog? Sha la 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 la, my oh my. What was that?
Oh,
Looks like the girl's
keep
too shy. You
singing.
want to kiss the frog?
what a lovely voice you have, Frog. One of the most beautiful I have ever heard.
Hello, fox.
Why are you making so much noise anyway? I bet the whole forest can hear you.
I'm trying to find a mate.
A mate?
Friend.
A mate, eh? What do you have, a date or something?
No, not yet, but, eventually I'd like to have a date with my girlfriend.
Instead
whoever
of
she is.
singing and finding a date, you could just have lunch with me.
What are we going to have for lunch?
Well, I thought you could be lunch.
What? Where'd he go? Where'd he? What? Oh no! He's gone. I better go find some mice or rabbits to eat.
I hope he's gone. This is getting a little too dangerous. I better go somewhere else before that fox comes back. I gotta run. Hop. Frog, frog, frog a day. Frog, frog, frog a day.